to go to the thing. Hey, how's it going? This is the second start of the thing, and I can't do the voice, so I can't even do the intro again or whatever. Hey, etc. Okay. So, you go over to Twitch, tell chat that they need to refresh if... What is happening? Okay. Let's see. I don't know if anybody's... I think there was at least one person in there, so they should potentially need to be told that. Basically, if the stream crashes, which the stream crashed because the EU5 just breaks OBS for some reason very consistently on the main screen. I assume that it's some sort of anti-fucking cheat software that is completely unnecessary for a single-player game, but which a lot of companies feel the need to invest in anti-cheat software for their single-player experiences. I wonder if they get kickbacks from that, because it's fundamentally I'm doing shit already. It's fundamentally spyware, right? Anti-cheat has a good theoretical utility, but it is fundamentally spyware that's being installed on your computer. And I wonder if the associated data that's going to get sold off the back of that, I wonder if developers get kickbacks from that. You would think that the developers pay for the spyware that they install for anti-cheat software, but I don't actually know if that's true. They might get paid to put it in. Oof, that's rough. I need to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do. So, we're currently in a war that is going on. Let's just fully recount in between. Okay, so I guess we win the war. I can't enforce a demand, right? Wait, I can demand something from them? Wait, what? I can make demands even if I'm losing the war now? Holy shit. Okay. I'll take it. Literally. That's a lot of money. That's a hell of a lot of money. Nah, I can't send it, even though they would accept it. Well, that's just rude. Alright, I'm not getting to plus 10, so I guess we just peace out. Well, shit. I titled the whole stream off of this war. But yeah, I'm not getting to 10. I'm glad that it recalced. Because, what the fuck was that shit? Okay, fine. We send the peace deal. They will accept a white peace. And there we go. We got them pieced out. Let's fucking go. Alright. We need naval levies raised. And what are we doing now? Ugh. Oh wow, we have a lot of fucking elephants. Jesus Christ. Okay, so hopefully this all goes better now that we are out of the shit. We can pop out here. And let's give you a mission. Unfortunately, I don't need to do anything down here. It's really unfortunate that I wasn't able to do anything off the back of that war, but it's fine. I don't really need. I don't need it. Don't need it. Alright, so we just get more control over all of this territory. Which, how much control do we have over this? Ooh, that hurt. Ooh, that hurt. Oh man, coughing and migraines don't mix. No. Why? Why like this? Ugh. Okay. We just got to get the caffeine. We got to get the fucking calories, and we need to get 8 hours of sleep that we didn't get last night. If we just get those things, we'll be fine. God. I am so much more of a mess than I should be from such a mild illness, okay? My wife had this, and she was unhappy, but ultimately she was fine, right? Like, my wife had this, and she was fine. And by had this, I don't mean this exact illness. Like, she didn't have this... I don't mean that she had the same bug and I have different symptoms. I mean, she had the same symptom set that I have, at the same severity that I have it. But because of the other fucking medical conditions that I have that interact badly with it, because I've got insomnia, I've got GERD, and I've got migraines. And when you cough with a migraine, your head hurts. It sucks. Okay. So, Clang is unfortunately not having a good time, but they should stop starving now. So, our economy has boomed the fuck up. Jesus Christ, look at that. Holy shit, actually. Okay, so, our income's up to 100 now, allegedly. Food is plus... We've got an increase from food? That doesn't sound right. I guess you can sell food on the market. If you're selling more food than you're buying, then you... Wow, who knew? So, our trade income is massively down from where it was before. But even though our trade income is massively down, our overall income is actually way higher. So, once our trade situation gets under control, which we just had a penalty to our trade efficiency, I think. It's nice that I can see the breakdown of where all my stuff is coming. It is interesting that all of it's coming from cloves right now. Okay, let's figure out what we're going to do here. This apparently doesn't need to be changed. Excuse me. So I'm not going to worry about that. Ooh, the head. The head is not... The head is heading. Ooh. Let's see here. I'm probably not going to be stopping stream for this particular migraine because I can't do anything that's going to make my migraine better. So distracting myself from it is just a better recourse. Now, Is that going to suck for the VOD watchers who are going to have an episode of this with me just going, "Ugh, my head, I don't feel good," for like 4 hours? I mean, you know, whatever. It sucks to be you know what? Tough luck. Tough luck. Sometimes in life, it just do be like that. So we're massively increasing our book output, which is interesting. Do I want to keep pumping those? There are no burgers employed. Wow, we don't have any people. Oh, shit. Wait, Tomasek has so many peasants. Excuse me, when did this happen? Okay. Alright, we take that. Okay, we're gonna pump up the incense. Oh, we have some. Ooh, nice. Malacca actually has just cloves, and these are farms. If I build irrigation, ooh, we don't have a protected harbor here. This increases my harbor capacity. Market building costs. Wait, why does this cost so much? Oh my god, Malacca. Jesus Christ. We need to turn Malacca into a fucking city. Like, but actually, though, like, this is useful to do it with fucking Tomasek, but Malacca, Jesus Christ. Plus 116 from fucking unsupported building levels? Jesus. Yeah, we need to build a city here. We actually, this might be the priority right now, is getting this up to the fucking city. It's probably fine. Who needs buildings? Let's see. It's not like we need to build more buildings right now. Right there. We could build... I don't think I want to build a thing that gives local maritime presence just for the sake of local maritime presence in a place like this. You know, I am tempted to modernize my navy. Do I want to build 5 heavies and 30 galleys? Do I want to let the burghers handle all of the building of my infrastructure while I just go fucking crazy? Not really, no. Let's take a look at our markets. So we don't have access to Hormuz. So this is in the Martaban market. Excuse me. Build a trade office. I have pops now, I don't need to worry about that. It is very funny, the race to put out videos about a game. There was a funny video that I saw recently that was talking about how to do food, how to manage your food status, and it was just very funny because one of the things that they suggested for managing your food was to build a bunch of fiber crop farms, and I'm like, wait, Fiber crop farms. That doesn't sound right. Doesn't that make like fucking linen and shit? Like, doesn't that make like fiber crops, like crops you use to make fiber out of for clothing? And then like, is it like fibrous? You know, does fiber crops mean something different than I assumed that it did? Do I have any fiber crop farms? I do. And the answer is no. No, it doesn't produce any food. They are, in fact, not food. So, anyway, I just thought that was funny. Let's see here. Just throwing shade at random YouTubers. Okay. That's what I'm doing with my morning, is throwing maximum shade. We're getting the tea. How far above our limit are we? Oh, we're actually not above our limit right now. Interesting. So... Okay, so building a printer shop will produce the books more efficiently, I believe, right? Oh, this is a different production method completely. Lead? Okay, do we have enough lead to run a printer shop? I don't know if we have enough lead for that. Where do we have lead in our market? Let me take a look at the Temasek market. Let's look for lead. There's not a lot of market. There's not a lot of lead in the market. There is no place on Earth that I can get a good supply of lead. Huh. Okay, so how do I check market range? I feel like there was a button that I clicked on that you would think would give me market range. Let me take a look at my economics. Is market range one of them? Yes. Alright. So if I click on Temasek market, it's just... So is Hormuz in range of this market then? Can I make trades to Hormuz? If I can make trades to Hormuz, I need to keep exploring. Oof. I think... Yes, it is in range. It is, in fact, in range. So, that means that I should keep exploring. We need to do that. So, let me take a look at... what am I looking for? I'm very excited that we got this peace deal. That was a pretty rough war. I don't know why it went from a minus 50 to plus 50. If I had to guess, I would honestly say it's probably a bug. I don't know whether it's... Well, I know it's a bug in the way that it was calculated. I just don't know which direction it was a bug in. My guess it's a bug because they weren't considering Nanchang. That's my guess. Is that they hadn't yet loaded in deeply enough to... Jesus Christ! Okay. What the fuck is happening? Are people migrating because they're fucking dying over here? Are they starving to death over here and just leaving? They're migrating out rather than starve. Okay. So... it's not great that they're migrating out, and it's not great that they were starving, but it is good that they were migrating out and not starving very much. You know? I'll take it. So we have a pretty good population here. So what does a paper workshop use? You can turn fiber crops directly into paper. Do I want to start making a paper maker's guild? Let's make a paper workshop. Let's see what that does. This seems... and our current production method uses broadly fiber crops. Okay, let's do it. We're going to make the conversion. I do think that it's annoying that you can't build the lower tier. I think that that's dumb. Because the lower tier uses different materials. So... you kind of lose access to the thing. But with that being said, that also does kind of make sense. Sometimes the inexorable march of progress is not, in fact, that inexorable, and is not, in fact, creating just, like, objectively superior technologies. So, what is this? The coast of Oman. Yeah, let's just start this. We'll start it from here. We'll start it with you, I guess. You're a buccaneer, which is close enough for government work. So many people complaining about exploration as a concept. People are like, oh, how is it that we're able to explore without explorers? You're just getting like random people from the noble estate and sending them off into the wilderness. It's like, what do you think a fucking explorer is? My guy, that's what an explorer is a random fucking bored nobleman being sent off on an expedition because their lives are cheap, because they're like the third or fourth son or whatever. Okay. I like how it says win a war when I got a white piece. If you explicitly lose the war, do you get the win a war achievement? I'll have to check that at some point, because it is pretty funny. Okay, so Malacca we're not building anything in because it's just way too expensive. We can expand the RGO, which is a separate thing if we desire at some point. But also, interestingly enough, we've established that I can literally make money off of food. So maybe I should invest in my food RGOs. Don't want to just do that. Let's just start investing in these, actually. Let's go broke. Let's not go for broke. Let's, like... go for an appropriately aggressive financial setup. You know, get the right level of aggressive. We're going to start losing money eventually. Do I? Do I do that? I'm actually wondering. Okay, we have an unprofitable trade of jewelry, which is now profitable, and I'm not going to worry about it for now. We can actually export tea to combat. Do we have tea getting imported right now? Not by us. We have so much trade capacity being devoted to this trade. I'm going to take 2 of this off, and I'm going to start trying to take 2 tea from Guangzhou. If I can import and then export 2 tea, or even better, import more tea than I'm exporting, that's pretty good for me. Do I have any... Actually, I needed to build up the fucking lumber RGO, right? This is tools. I don't have nearly enough tools in this market. It's almost like I haven't invested into building tools. Okay. We have finished helping that place recover. We don't have enough to do this. Let's try Thumlong. Because I think I already have some of my... I think I have some trade going toward Banger. Let's take a look at our supply and demand situations. We are demanding more than we have. Let's see. Silumbo. We can try to get a bit more cloves out of turning it. I should probably create a colonial charter to do Thinger, but you know what I really need to do? I really do need to build... Oh, I can't build heavies yet. I have enough barks. I think I just build. Okay. Okay. This is a very Christian soundtrack right now. Let's see here. Recovery effort for clan. Yeah, soon we're gonna be losing out on the... That's so good. That's so good, though. Do I want to get Carrick? Do I need rag paper? Not really, because I don't think I can even use it right now. Oh, lumber output plus 25% is actually good right now. What does cabinet laws do? Let's do this. This should give a pretty massive boost to my economy, actually. 25% boost to lumber output is crazy. So, Tomasek cannot import tea right now. Control over the tea trade would be pretty nice. I could try Hangzhou. Again, the point of this is just to be able to poop it out the other end, you know? Like, I want to get a consistent export going. That being said, let's take a look at the Temasek market. Let's see what we can export to Hormuz, because allegedly Hormuz is in range. Is it because I don't have this explored? It must be because I don't have this explored. Because it seems like it should be in range, but it isn't. The thing was indicating that it was in range. Wow, we are actually running the Temasek market out of cloves. That's pretty funny. Let's see here. Do we want to sell some of our incense, baby? I feel like at this point I should probably try to set up some trades that are like gonna last a while. Let's see. So Temasek. Yeah, our supply and demand are way out of sync here. I could send some incense to Selambao, just for shits and giggles. It's like 0.6, 0.5-ish. It's like a very, very low margin, but it's a margin. I feel like incense can be... Tondo is offering me an alliance. Do you have... So why can't you be vassalized? If you don't have... If you don't already have a thing, why can't you be vassalized? Yeah, you're building early Carracks. I need to build some early Carracks. Everybody in my area has heavies, except me. And you're done. Stability, investment. Excuse me. So, I guess we just keep developing the Rio Islands for now. Right, we would be appointing... We're not going to appoint anybody here because we don't have any children to put in place. Okay, we have an heir. What do we want to do? I don't think I want this alliance. This is at minus 19 right now. How much of that is range? 15 from border distance. I could get a little bit of increased Diplo rep. So they are presumably a vassal. You are also... Oh, right, I was planning on trying to turn you into a vassal, and unfortunately I didn't get there before Majapahit did. That's bullshit. Okay. Well, how dare you. Life is sad. Okay, well, with that being the case, what do we want to do now? Do I want an alliance with Tondo? I don't hate the idea of having an alliance with Tondo, actually. Do we just, like, kind of create the ASEAN experience already? I think we do. We have enough, like, diplomatic capacity that we can have a lot of allies. So I think it just makes sense to do that. I could start annexing who? Cebu? What's our control over here? It's minned out. If I wanted to, I could start heading toward the Ainu area. This is part of different... No, it is part of this. Unfortunately, I suspect I'm not... gonna get everything that I want here. Ooh, we can make a pretty hefty profit off of this. Trading over to Surabaya. Holy shit. Get that jewelry over. Alright, so next on our agenda is... Have we started the exploration yet? No. Okay, the exploration is about to start. I don't want to zero out my income before that happens. Or not zero out my money. Okay, let's start improving somebody's opinion of us. We just scroll. Look at this. Look at this. Everybody loves us. Everybody loves us. Incredibly important, okay? So this is probably my most valuable turn 8 clove import. I should probably just do this and then go to Selambao, which I know the trade is less valuable for. Do that. And then I can click on this and see what happens. It craters the cost of that, so we're not going to do that. Okay, we don't need incense. There's a trade bit here. How do I get to the... We're importing beeswax from Beroon at a pretty decent price. Let's look at gold. that. Alright, so Temasek is still rowing. We're starting to explore the Gulf of Oman. My hope is that once we've explored the Gulf of Oman here, we'll get access to this market. And I'm not sure that's what's going to happen, but that's my hope. Okay. Excuse me. Sturdy grains are actually going to give a non-zero profit. Fruit's pretty good also. I think we invest in both of these. Because those are actually worth a decent bit. The clay is worth an okay amount. Lumber is still worth a decent amount, but it is pretty expensive to build that. And our lumber situation is fine. So this is just random characters getting married, I guess. They're not like members of my dynasty or anything. Okay, building a Mediterranean galley. I think we build 20 galleys total. Wait, is this... Let's go. Okay, we're now making bank for at least a short period of time. And in theory... I think I can do this. I think I can. I should have enough control over the tea to do that, but we'll see. I probably shouldn't have done that because it's going to destabilize the trade faster. It's fine, though. Destabilizing the trade faster just means more profit now, and then I can abandon the market and let it crash, and then go on to the next thing. Ah, we don't have the 25% boost to the lumber yet. Bharataya. What is Bharataya? Is this Bharataya? No? Bharataya. Oh, that's gotta be down here. I heard Bharat and I just assumed India, but no, this is not looking there. No, this is the color. Okay. We're fine. It is funny that there's like no consequences whatsoever. Alright, so alright, let's just keep pumping this. I feel like the Paper Makers Guild there is gonna make us good money. We don't have the ability to keep exporting this much, so we do in fact have to drop this. And then let's increase this. We're actually making a decent amount of money on this. I'm wondering if at some point, if we build enough paper workshops, we'll actually be able to export paper. My guess is probably not. I don't think that paper is going to be a valuable enough resource to ever really do that with, but we can see. Excuse me. Okay, what do we want to build? We just got a claim from Casus Belay on Brunei. Imagine if we were playing an aggressive game, how easily we could have just, like, plowed through the world. We have gold here that is completely undeveloped. How is our inflation situation? How much are we minting right now? We're not minting that much. We're not minting that much, so it's a little concerning to build this up too much. But I think we can put a point in that just to feel alive. I like to live on the edge. We love risking getting inflation spikes, right? Tools are very expensive in this market. Ooh. Okay, this stone thing does not... The profit per level isn't super high, but it is you know what, I'm gonna do this. Okay, we have a daughter. We need to have other things than just ooh, we have an iron mine here. I've been moving iron around. I feel like I have a lot of things that could use iron and which either aren't or which aren't using as much as they could be. So let's try this. Try to do this. Just as a cheap and easy trade. Okay, we can't trade tea out of Temasek anymore. Let's just increase the amount of tea we're taking into Temasek. I think that's the play right now. But yeah, if we can expand our mines, that'll be useful. The 25% boost to wood output feels pretty useful to me. Naval Supplies Workshop, Weapon Workshop. I'm gonna start unlocking these laws. There's another law that I can unlock, right? Let's get recruitment law. We should probably get military tactics. Oh, we can't build Carracks yet because we don't have the tech. Okay, we need to get Carracks. We could get Renaissance sculptures, which is fairly cheap, but I'm not going to worry about it yet. We're gonna get these techs zevved, and then we will worry about the other stuff. Let's see. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna build 2 here. mind. We don't have quite enough. It's not cheap anymore. Just do it to music. Okay. Yeah, I should have at least one ship building at a time, kind of permanently. Okay. We're developing the islands. Yeah, we get this exploration done. The hope is that with this exploration done, we unlock this market and can export directly to it. If we can export cloves directly to that market, we might be able to go crazy with it. Probably not. There's probably other places that will have exported to that market already, so the market difference won't be that crazy. I don't think we need to invest in new people. Okay, let's take a look at my balance. Clicking this button once did not change anything here. We click this button again because we have the ability. Okay, we have discovered the Gulf of Oman. The Gulf of Oman discovered. Look at that. We have access to this now. Ho ho ho. Anything we can import from? Oh, that's interesting. Sell about to Kataka. We can export some grain. That's actually not a bad idea. Let's see here. I don't feel like I'm going to be able to do most of these trades. I'll just click this button. We'll see what happens. Do we wait on the next explore? Yes, we do. So we're going to wait until we have enough money to explore the next thing. Then we explore over here. Alright. Nicobar has been cored. Do we do it now or do we wait a month? I think we just do it now. Hey, Astro Kitty. We're getting Oman explored. And hopefully that'll do a good job for us. Next is building another galley, probably. Actually, do I want to build another galley? I've now got such a huge alliance chain that I feel like I'm better off. No, I feel like the alliance chain is not useful for naval battles pretty much at all. So it's useful for not losing wars off the back of other stuff, but I need to have control of the sea zone in Temasek. That's just a thing that I need to have. So wow, this is a crazy amount of money to make off of sending tools somewhere. Tools are not necessarily the most expensive resource, generally. Yeah, I think we're going to start investing into some of this shit. We need to get our Archegos built up. That was unsurprising. Okay. And what do we do now? We could try doing this. We can import grain. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? No. This isn't a market that I don't actually have any control over, so why would I just be giving Majapahit free money? Let's see here. Exporting them my gold, I think, makes a degree of sense. And honestly, importing gold from turning makes a lot of sense, because I don't really have much control over that market. Let's see here. It's so many cloves going out. So, do I now have access to the Hormuz market? I think maybe? No. I don't have access to the Hormuz market. So we do apparently not have enough trade range. Let's see. I think trade range I'm only going to get with the New World. Let's take a look at our institutions map. So Vijayanagara has every institution. Oh, we have every institution, don't we? We do. Okay, so we need to actually just get this institution. We're not quite there yet, but I think we just have to stockpile money to get there. Right? I think that's the way to be. Yes. But it's not as simple as just stockpiling money. I need to figure out what I'm going to do for now. Yeah, I could click this button. Eventually, I won't be able to keep doing it, but we can do it at this exact moment, so... What I really want... I would love to be a book exporter. How much are books worth? Books are worth 5, so they are a reasonably valuable product. But is there going to be places in the world that have a huge demand for books but don't have book building? Like, probably not, right? We now have 100. Let's start building 2 at a time. Okay, so my hope here is my hope here is that we can get everything working fine. I do have to be very precious with the way that I'm handling my trade. I'm actually curious if I go to the Surabaya market. That is an insane amount of trade profit that they're making. I wonder what they're doing. They're probably just exporting all the gold that I'm importing. If I had to guess. They're making so much money in Ajapahit from trade. And, well, maybe they're not exporting. I have no idea what they're doing with all that trade. They're moving stuff around. That be sure. Looks like that grain trade is actually pretty stable for right now. It would be really nice to actually get a lacquerware thing going. So we haven't started the exploration of Oman yet. And I guess we don't need to keep investing into the exploration there. Necessarily. Actually, we should. I'd like to colonize over there. If possible. This might be a colonizable province. Well, I don't know what the map looks like in this. In terms of like what's colonizable and what isn't, because I haven't played out of this region yet. Okay, cabinet laws, law. Meritocratic recruitment. So none of this... Wait, dynastic administration is actually very good. It doesn't piss off the nobles, it just reduces my legislative efficiency. And because crown power is so powerful, the thing is that we don't need a meritocratic recruitment process for this. The Navy tradition is nice. What does naval tradition do for me? Let's find out. It should be the military. So currently the naval tradition is decaying at 0.03. It gives me a boost to maritime presence, which is fine, but not really that important for me right now. It gives me great power score, which is nice, but we don't really need it for what we're doing right now. So this allows us to train gold to get an admiral. Wait, this costs me naval tradition? Why does this cost me naval? Why would this cost me naval tradition? That doesn't make any sense. says spend gold, but then it costs naval tradition? This fucking game, you guys. I feel like maybe it's like not quite finished. I'm beginning to suspect that this game might not be quite completed. You know? Okay, so next on our list is what? Expand the mines. Over there, do we just keep... Right, we wanted to do a thing. I think we maybe do dynastic... I think legislative efficiency is how fast... Yeah, it's how fast we can change our legislature, but we don't change our legislature around a lot. So legislative efficiency isn't that important to us. I think we just take dynastic administration. This doesn't give us... everything that we want. It would be nice to have more naval tradition, but I'm not that concerned about that. And the Vicia are so fucking happy with me that I really just don't see a reason to give myself additional movement in that direction when I could disempower them so that I can tax them more. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes in life you just gotta tax the burgers. Sometimes you just gotta tax them. Let's see. Oh, are we actually succeeding in importing lacquerware? Holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. Excuse me. Get that benefit out of the printing press. Let's go. So let's implement this. We are centralizing power in the crown. Now, that does have a movement toward centralization, but as long as I don't have a total bonus, that's moving the wrong direction, I don't think it matters. We currently are moving 0.7 toward decentralization, which means that we could even push it further if we wanted, but we don't need it right now because it doesn't give us any benefits right now. It would be very nice actually to just get the centralization benefits. But I think I prefer decentralization for my current purposes. We might want to invest into centralization eventually, but I think decentralization is the way to go for the early game here. So the Vicia are currently sitting at 31%. Holy shit, plus 53% from trade income versus tax base. That's fucking crazy. You know what that means? That means we need to start investing in our tax base. Actually, we actually do need to start investing in deving up some of this stuff. What do we want to be taxing? Try it. I don't think it's gonna work. Alright. But yeah, we have paper workshops being built, we have glass guilds being built, and we have 2 more galleys being built. It would be very fun. I actually think one thing that they've done a great job with is they have definitely heavily incentivized the exact kind of colonial bullshit that countries were engaging in during this time period. Which is to say that, like, it would be really nice to take control of some chunk of China so that I could export tea. Just take enough control that I have access to that resource without having to go through other countries as middlemen. Hey, Lix DK. That would be pretty nice for me. Keep doing this. And let's see. And that basically... Is the music very loud? Is the music very loud, or am I just very quiet? Doesn't seem that loud to me, but I can reduce it. That's fine. My voice is much quieter than it usually is because I am sick, so... The balance is definitely... Was I unpaused the entire time I was dicking around with my sound settings? Don't worry about it, it's fine. Let's see. Recruitment law. I like elite training. I'm doing okay. I'm sick. You know? I'm sick, but I'm doing okay. I think we're gonna take the quality thing. It gives me discipline. I like discipline. I don't know that discipline does the same thing in this as it does in the other game. We'll find out. What does discipline do? Discipline doesn't even show up over here. No, that's Navy. I haven't been playing a ton of it. I've been playing it for stream, but I stopped streaming for most of December. So I've been this is the run. So I have been figuring out the Singapura start. Yeah, what is... That doesn't tell me anything. Okay. That doesn't tell me a formula. Let's see. Nice. It's a very... Excuse me. I think it's a pretty good framework for future advancement. At the moment, it is messy. There are not a lot of mechanics that work the way that they're supposed to work, but that's okay. There's some really good ideas in there, and hopefully they'll be able to... Well, this is just a beautiful thing. This is just a beautiful thing. We just do this? I'm gonna wait a couple months. I'm initially from Florida, but I have lived in Singapore for 20 years, so I'm basically Singaporean. Let's see. I've been in a lot of places. I've been in a lot of places in the United States, and over my childhood, and it was very funny that basically when I became an adult, I was like, you know what I'd like to do? I would like to take one more move to end them all and just move to the opposite side of the world and stop moving. No more moves. So I've moved twice in the last 20 years. From between... between addresses. One of those moves was getting to Singapore. One of those moves was getting into my current house that I've lived in for 15 years. I lived in the same place for no longer than 2 years at a time for my entire childhood. I was basically a military brat without being a military brat. Except I wasn't moving overseas or anything. I was moving around within the country, but I live with my wife. Yeah, I'd moved to Singapore to be with her. So it has gone pretty well. I haven't been here quite 20 years. It's been, what, like 17 or something like that. Oh yeah, Japan is a great place to visit. There's a lot of really, really nice just places to visit. Me and my wife go to Japan quite regularly just to, like, go out into the wilderness, basically. It's a really nice place to visit. We're talking about going again this year in June, and I don't know if it's going to end up happening, but it might. It may well happen. We'll see. It's really easy to get to Japan from here, is the thing. Singapore's really close to Japan. So going to Japan is a fairly cheap vacation. I don't know how many hours it is. I mean, it depends on where you're going. We typically go near Tokyo, so it's probably, I don't know, like 5 or 6 hours of flight. I don't know. Because Tokyo is pretty far north. We live on the equator, so... But if we were going to, like... if we were going to southern Japan, which we've considered doing that, actually, this year, is going somewhere in southern Japan. It is a much easier trip because, like, Japan is a very long country, and it's, like, long from north to south. So, like, if you think about, like, the difference between getting from here to getting here versus getting up here, you know, because Tokyo's around here somewhere. I don't think Tokyo is a city at this point in history, but yeah, going from Denmark to Japan is a long ass trip. It's long. We go to Europe to visit some of our friends periodically, and we go to the Americas to visit our friends, and it's just like, okay, well, here we go. Oof. When my mother still lived in Florida, getting to Florida is... we haven't visited Denmark, but we have, like, gone through Denmark. We have gone through. We were just in Norway, so, I mean, depending on how you feel about your old colonial holdings... Depending on how you feel about your old colonial holdings. What is Norway if not Greater Denmark? You know, in today's political landscape, I probably shouldn't make those kinds of jokes, considering the fucking insanity that my country's getting up to. My old country, not my current country. Let's see, I actually have the ability to just import from here. Alright, do we need anything else? Yeah, and we actually went to Poland as well, which was interesting. It was interesting being in Krakow. Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. The the world descending into like, you know, the world's dumbest Europa Universalis players trying to like fucking take over the world is pretty cringe. It's pretty cringe. I am almost 40. Am I 40? Wait, how old am I? I am 40. I'm 40. Look, I know how old I am. This is relevant. I know how age works. Shit. Waste and trade capacity. We actually have enough jewelry being built to export it, which is nice. Wait. Tech. Okay, what are we doing? How close are we to getting... I need to get access to that extra trade. Only 7%. That's a good question. I started on the first patch. It says that I have 126 hours of playtime. I don't think that's actually accurate. You'd have to go back. Actually, I have a playlist on YouTube, and the length of that playlist is roughly equal to the length of time that I've played the game total. But a lot of this is probably just me leaving the menu open, is my guess. So I'm not actually sure. I'm not sure how long it is that I've played. I would guess probably around... It can't be 100 hours, can it? Yeah, it can be. Why not? If I play it about 4 hours a day when I'm streaming, that's 5 weeks. I haven't been streaming this for 5 weeks, though. If I had to guess, I'd say maybe 50. I actually think that Singapore is pretty good for learning some of the game mechanics. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them. I have fairly in-depth knowledge of some of like the way that like the trade systems work, and I have like a generalized overview of how like the supply and demand stuff works and things like that. But there's a lot of systems that are not really working right now, so bear that in mind when you're like going, I don't understand how this works. Some of it doesn't. Oh, well, that I can tell you how to do. So, if you want to make a vassal, you go over to diplomacy, and then go to relations, and then you click on create subjects. And historical subjects you can ignore, I think. But custom subjects, you can basically just create a subject out of a specific province. I don't think you can create subjects out of locations, but you can create a subject out of a province. And then once you've created the subject out of that province, you can gift them, I believe, any territory that is adjacent to them or adjacent to a shared sea zone, right? So basically, if I were to release this as a vassal, I could, in theory, if I had more of the territory, I could then give this and all this stuff to them, but I couldn't get them this up here without getting them this. And then, actually, can I even get there? How would I get there? You have to do some funky business if you're trying to cross sea tiles, basically. Oh, wait, no. This, I think, shares a sea tile with this. So you could jump from here to here to here. and then jump to there. Yeah, you basically make it out of a single province, and then if you go to your trade with, or if you go to your diplomacy tab with that vassal, you then click on Seed Province, and then it'll show all of the things that you can give to them. Just bear in mind, again, that sometimes it can be a pain if you have, like, borders that aren't fully contiguous to actually give the territory up to them, because if they're, like, slightly further than adjacent to each other, you can't give it to them. So you have to find an angle to give them the provinces that you want to give. But it depends on how clean your borders are, right? So, like, as an example, if I made a vassal out of this chunk, like if I made a vassal out of this whole chunk, I could not give them this territory because I don't hold the territory in between. Diplo capacity, in the short term, you can increase by investing into diplomatic spending. This will increase both your income and your overall capacity. And there's actually two different types of diplo capacity. But yes, this increases your diplo capacity, your maximum diplomats, and your monthly diplomats. It also increases the loyalty of subjects, which is relevant if you're not really decentralized. I haven't run into any loyalty issues with my subjects, but I also haven't conquered anything because I'm doing a pacifist run, right? All of the expansion that I've done this run has been through diplomacy. So I've been diplo vassalizing and then diplo annexing. That's how I got all of this territory, is by diplo annexing them. And a little bit of Game of Thrones, right? We had a what should we call it thing here? Singapore gets a free. He gets Malacca for free as a. The crown thing, or whatever. This is uncolonized territory. So Borneo is the middle of Borneo. This island is Borneo. This island is like jungle, right? Like, so the depths of Borneo, I don't even know like how developed they are today. I don't know that the depths of Borneo have ever been really exploited. Well, you can't conquer into there. You would have to settle it, and that costs money. So in the early game, if the game was working correctly, I would have probably expanded throughout all of Borneo by now, right? Not all of it, because there's actually a limit. You can't get to northern Borneo because of this impassable jungle. So this stuff I can't actually colonize because I just don't have access to this. But all this southern stuff I could have colonized. I colonized enough of it to get diplo vassalization going on everybody that I could down here, right? So like I colonized this little strip here so that I get adjacent to this country, and then I diplo vassalized them, and then once I annexed them, I diplo vassalized this because I was close enough to it then. The reason that I haven't expanded further is because now it's really expensive to colonize, because I've maxed out it costs like $250 to click the button in the first place, which is just quite expensive for me right now. That's 10 months of income, which is a lot. Eventually, because it doesn't scale any further than that, eventually it's going to be an irrelevant thing. I've only played as Singapore. I have literally only played as this country. I've never played as anything else because I've been doing the one pacifist run the entire time. I've never declared war. Actually, no. I've declared war twice in all of my runs, and I think this is one of the runs that... No, it isn't. The last run was one of them, where I declared war on the Pirate Republic here. That's pretty rough. that's a difficult start. Let's see. This would be nice. Is it as important as anything else that I have access to? No. No, but it would be nice. Okay, what do I need? I need... it might be nice to have a naval supplies workshop, honestly. So this is 27% spread. Oh, we can actually embrace this right now if we wanted. We can't. We have to wait a month. Do we want pike and shot? We're about to be finished with this stuff that we're getting out of here for right now. Are we... It is funny that this has a thing that says, like, unlock... Oh, this is the exploration casus belli. Never mind. Do I want to get exploration ideas? Yes, let's get the colonial range. That'll allow us to start expanding toward the Americas. That does tend to be the way. That's honestly, it's not a... It's not a bad way to play the game, to just piss everyone off. And it's like, okay, I don't need allies because I have vassals. That has historically been the way to play EU games. It's just not the way that I'm playing because I'm playing as Singapore. I'm also not... I'm not allowing myself to add rivals, so my prestige has been terrible the entire game because I just haven't allowed myself to click the rivals button. because I'm playing as Singapore. it's just like Singapore has people that set Singapore as a rival, but Singapore doesn't engage in rivalry behavior. It just doesn't as a country. So I'm role-playing Singapore, and so it's like... Now, does it make any sense to attribute modern-day Singaporean, behaviors to a almost completely unrelated... Whoops, I just realized that... Oh, wait, did I actually have the money? You just diplo-vassalize people. So... What we're currently working on diplo-vassalizing these nations over here. So if you open your diplo relations and you have very high relations with someone, you can ask them to become your vassal. So the current reasons to accept are minus 22 for this country right here, which is pretty close. So what we're looking to do is close the distance, because you'll see that 15 of this is just from the fact that we have this little tiny bit of water in between us. And we have a subject already. And they're a different religion. So the fact that they're a different religion is a huge problem for us. But, like, if you're going within your religious group, within your religion, it's not terribly difficult to get vassals. But the basic shit... I don't know what word I was going with. The basic... I was trying to say shift, and that was not the right word. The basic... Look, I'm sick. You can't judge me. The basic gist of... I think I was going with gist. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The basic way that I got this nation was that I actually had a royal marriage with them that gave us a marriage union, and once we had a marriage union with them, it gives you an additional bonus. So if there's like a small nation near you, if you can get your ruler married to their ruler, then it's very easy to vassalize them, right? Especially if they are of the same culture and religion as you. If they're not the same culture and religion as you, you just have to be really big and right on their doorstep, and they'll go, okay. So that's how I got like all of these nations. It's just diplo-vassalizing, but it's harder as you expand further out from your own territories because of the fact that like the culture is different and the religion is different. But there's a bunch of other modifiers to it. Your diplomatic reputation matters. I don't know how you diplo rep max. I guess there's a policy that gives you a bunch of diplo rep. But like you basically just want to be really big and powerful compared to them, and then say, "Hey, would you like to be my subject?" And they'll say yes. And if you do it early in the game before people start like consolidating, you can actually get a lot done with diplo-vassalization. In EU4, which vassals are less important in, that's not accurate necessarily. But my understanding is that military conquest is very difficult in this game because you run into hard limits fairly quickly. In terms of like your ability to integrate stuff. In this one, so in EU4, I did a lot of diplo annexation. Because it's like, why would I waste time on a war when I can get this territory for free just by offering to there? It's really nice to have like someone small on your border who has a lot of like cores and claims on a bigger target. And then you just diplo-vassalize them, and then it's like, okay, well, you have a bunch of cores in Vijayanagar, so let's fucking go. I'm declaring war on your behalf, and you retake all of the cores for this vassal that you've taken on. You can also do that by just releasing a vassal out of an already destroyed nation, but I like doing it preemptively whenever possible. It's just convenient. When I'm doing like world conquest stuff in EU4, it's a fundamental component of how I'm doing things. I don't think it's necessarily optimal if you're like good, but I will never claim to be particularly good at any of the games in this series. That is not a claim I'm willing to try to make. All right, do we go for the thing? We have our rowdy child. Let's see. The way I suggest, if you want to like do like deep dives into the mechanics for like, if you want to understand a mechanic, I really recommend just fixating completely on that mechanic for a while. It's been very helpful to my understanding of the economy that I'm not declaring any wars. I still have to periodically fight wars because all these fucking empires keep attacking me. The reason the stream title is what it is that we ended last stream with Hantawadi, which has a surprisingly large network of fiefdoms, including this Chinese duchy up here that has like 500,000 troops. And they declared war on me, and then it was a whole thing where they were willing to peace out because Nanchang is a fiefdom of theirs that I can't peace out of the war, but they can't do anything in the war. They're a landlocked Chinese nation over here, but because of the 500,000 troops that they have in this fiefdom, Hantawadi is like, well, we can win this easily because we have all these soldiers. It's like, no, you don't. You can't get those soldiers to the war. So I'd like wiped out their army, and they still had like plus 50 enthusiasm for the war. It's like there were no troops left that could actually engage with the war. Yeah, it's very like it's very, you know, paradox game shenaniganry, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, okay, well, we've got this nonsense war going on where the enemy doesn't want to peace out because they think they've got a bunch of shit going on, and they ain't got shit. Oh, we can't do elite training. Well, shit. A fiefdom is ruled by your ruler. I assume that a fiefdom has less loyalty penalties. So, like, a fiefdom is, I believe, just explicitly superior to a vassal. So it's like, a fiefdom is basically a vassal that you are the ruler of, as opposed to a vassal that has a different head. Mechanically speaking, I have no idea how big of a difference it makes. I legitimately just don't know. Excuse me. Do I just do expanded levies just for shits and giggles? Because it gives me free subjects. I mean, free subjects gives me monthly prosperity. I think it's better to make them a fiefdom, but you can't make a fiefdom diplomatically very easily. I make all my fief when I'm like releasing. I release as a fiefdom. I don't release as a vassal. But I don't. To be clear, I don't really know what the difference is between the two mechanically. They're very, very similar constructs. They're very similar. If you're just looking for something to integrate territory for you that you've conquered, I really don't think that it makes a huge difference. I think that a fiefdom is something that's a bit easier to control in the long term. Again, I'm not actually sure on that. That's just like me making assumptions about the mechanics that... Because I don't think I have any fiefdoms right now. It depends on where it is, and like how valuable it is to you. The reason that I have all of this territory lying around, like I have this territory here that I'm not really using for anything, I could have just given it to Cebu, and I'd be getting more value out of giving it to Cebu. Let's see. It's basically the way the control propagation works is, so there's a couple of things. So the more subjects you have, the more rebellious they're going to be. So if you're doing aggressive expansion, like you are expanding aggressively, eventually the stuff that's closer to the center of your empire you need to annex, because otherwise you're going to have a huge vassal swarm that will be rebellious. So you need to eventually annex the interior stuff. If you're not running into loyalty issues, then the stuff that you want to annex is stuff that you can get a decent level of control in. So, like, as an and which has like a decent economic base for you to work with, right? So, like, I annexed this huge chunk in like stages, but the way that I annexed it was kind of weird, because currently diplo annexation doesn't really cost anything. It just costs diplomats. Apparently they're adding a cost to it next patch, which is going to fuck with this kind of a strategy. But what I basically diplo vassalized everybody in this area and annexed them, and then just handed them over to Santabong. So Santabong is the nation that was here initially. This is the first place that I diplo vassalized. I kept them vassalized, annexed everything else, and handed all the territory over to Santabong over time. Right? So I had one big vassal here. Because if I have one big vassal, I don't have a big penalty to making new vassals, whereas every vassal that you have gives you a -5 penalty to making new vassals. So, and then I eventually annexed it, right? And the reason that I annexed it when I did was because Santabong was mismanaging their economy, and they had like 80% inflation. So I had to annex them because you couldn't build anything down here, right? Like nothing could be built. The whole economy was completely borked, and so I needed to annex Santubong eventually. But yes, yes. So once you conquer land, you can just hand it off to a vassal. So if no matter how you're handling it, right? Like I conquered this using Santubong as an intermediary. The same way. You just go to the diplomacy with your vassal, which I think Cebu is my only vassal right now. And then you just... I don't have a person, but you just click Cede Province, and then you just hand the provinces over to them. If you're talking about taking it from one vassal and giving it to the other, the way that I did that was by annexing the actual vassal so that it's mine. So it was no longer my vassals. This is not a strategy that I would suggest doing. The specific reason that I was doing this strategy was because I was vassalizing everything, and it was like the only reasonable way to do it within the rule set that I have, right? But like what I could have done was, once I have this vassal here, when I declare war on these people, I just hand the provinces over to my vassal instead of me during the peace negotiation, right? I think, I will be honest, I haven't done any conquest in this game. That's how it would work in EU4. So in EU4, what I would do is hand over the provinces during the peace deal to my vassal. Yeah, it depends on the details. So each vassal that you have is limiting you diplomatically, but each vassal that you have is also a separate set of advisors who have the ability to do some really powerful things. And it's a new capital, which has 100% control. So when I gave all of this territory to one vassal, all the stuff down here, they're not managing well. Like, they're not managing the shit down here well because they're too far away. They had a control center from Sarabas, right? So I think this was their capital. Their capital originally was Santubong, but I think they moved their capital. It doesn't matter. So Santubong had a capital at some point, probably in Santubong, given the name. So it just depends on the specific needs that you have. I wanted to give it all to one vassal so that I could diplo-vassalize more people, but diplo-vassalization is a very marginal mechanic in normal runs. It's not a mechanic that people invest the kind of energy into that I'm investing in this run. It's just that in this run, again, I'm not declaring war on anybody, so it's the only way that I'm expanding. Okay, do we take pike and shot? I guess we should. You can. What is it a screenshot of? Do you have like a question about the screenshot? Being sick is no fun, it turns out. I don't recommend it. Don't get sick. Simply don't. Oh, sure. Bear in mind that, like, in terms of, like, advice, I don't really know anything about Europe. I've never played in Europe. So I have absolutely no experience with what's going on that continent at the beginning of the game. So if it was like an EU4 file, I'd be like, okay, so here's the situation that you've got going on here. Here's the possible ranges of expansion. In this, I was like, I don't know. This map doesn't look familiar at all because I've never gotten out of Asia. This is the furthest I've expanded. Oh, there we go. Oman is the furthest that I've explored this whole time. Yeah, I'm happy to give advice. I'm just forewarning that the utility of that advice is can't be owned. Corridor. Interesting. What is a corridor? Oh, okay. We have a lot of incoming money. I need to start spending my money on settlements. I think we are going to start up... Do we just start up both of these colonial charters? I think we do. Hey! Non-Severnine no longer views us as a rival. Unfortunately, they're still a tributary, so I can't actually vassalize them. Wait, we can join the independence movement! This is a terrible idea, I'm not going to do it. But, it would be funny. We can offer market access preference. And if they manage to break free of Majapahit, then good for them. But yeah, I'm not joining an independence movement until I have some... Speaking of ships... I should keep building those. Okay, so importing from Ternate. I have a lot of places I can try to import tea from. I don't think I've ever tried to import tea from this market, so let's see. I'd also like to get this done, but I don't even know what I want to click on. Okay, we have so much income now, this is amazing. Do we start filling out Borneo? It might not be a bad idea to start filling out Borneo. Do I stop exploring? I think I do, actually. I think I stop exploring for now. I have plenty of places to expand. I think I just start expanding. We're allied with Tondo, so I don't have to worry about them invading me. Okay, Kumi is not going to do what we want. Yeah, it's got to be starting out with 450 ducats in debt is crazy. Do you start with a personal union over Norway and Sweden? I don't know anything about this start date, so I guess over is the wrong way to describe it as well, because personal unions work so much differently in this one than they did in 4. Let's see. Do I... So we will start up... Do you start out with a personal union with Norway and Sweden in this start date? Or is that a thing that happened later? Because the start date is 100 years earlier in EU5 than it is in EU4. So in the start date in EU4, you start out with a personal union over Norway and Sweden. So this will give us plus 500 colonial range. if we just click this button, we can start this up. And this is actually a pretty nice... With each other, but not with Denmark. Oh, interesting. That's a really hard start. Holy crap. How did Denmark get out of that situation? I assume that that's reflecting some sort of historical situation. Because, like, Denmark's doing pretty well for itself at the start of EU4. I had no idea it was having such a hard time at the start of at EU5. That's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. I'll take a look. I don't know what snipboard is. Let's see. Diplomacy status for Sweden. We're weaker than Sweden. That is interesting that Sweden has... Did you, like, already go to war with Sweden or something? Man, Denmark is in such a weird... Ooh, that's an interesting little thing there. So, what is the... Is that light blue color your like, subjects? Is that what that is? Like Mecklenburg and Magdeburg? I think it's like... It's like 1444, I think. Yeah, so like the green of Denmark is yours, but also Mecklenburg and Magdeburg. Is the yellow color your rival or something? I never look at the diplomacy map because I don't have complex diplomatic relations. Gotcha. So, with a setup like this, see, the thing is that I don't know what kind of events are going to happen with places like Sweden. The easiest place to expand through is probably Sweden and Norway, and I think Norway is generally speaking weaker than Sweden. Like Norway is a less populated region of the world. Like I think Sweden has like triple the population of Norway, right? Like even like today. Norway is very sparsely populated. The issue that you've got here is that Denmark isn't a member of the HRE, but you do have. But you're adjacent. You're like right up there with the HRE. So, I feel like I would almost. I think my suggestion, if I'm going like war focused, right? If I'm thinking from a war's perspective, if you can win wars against Sweden, right? Which I don't know, I think you can, right? Because you just need to get like heavy cav and then you blow them up because the AI is bad at war. At least until next patch, and then next patch levies will actually be useful or something. But I feel like basically I would maybe suggest taking some of like Sweden's territory that's like in the Finland area so that you can start progressing into Finland and like Russia almost. Because, like, to give you more access. You might be able to diplo-vassalize some of the members of the HRE, and depending on the mechanics, if you could become the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, then you're much more free to engage the empire itself. Now, I have heard some people say that the Empire is quote incapable of defending itself. So let's see the land that you have to the right. Currently it's very vulnerable. Like that territory is pretty vulnerable. The issue is that if you make a vassal out of that, they're not going to be able to afford those forts because you have several forts on that border. So I imagine that they're going to struggle to pay for the forts that you've built there. So it depends. It's if you're in a position where you're regularly fighting against, like you're punching up against foes that you are going to really struggle to fight against, then I would maybe hand that over to a fiefdom just for the sake of getting it out of your hands so you don't have to deal with it. Other than that, is the port that leads into that a town or a city? Is that an urban area or is it a rural port? I can't see on the screenshot, and I don't have access to that part of the map right now. If it's urban, my honest suggestion is just build like harbors and things like that. Like right now, you're not very spread out. So since you're not very spread out right now, like everything is in a pretty tight area. I don't think that you need to make a vassal out of that from a control perspective. If that's not integrated territory, if that's not cored territory, then if it's not cored, then I would just hand it to a vassal, because otherwise you're going to have to invest ministers into integrating it when you could just be letting a vassal do that for you, like a fiefdom do that for you. So if that's recently conquered territory, I would say if it's not integrated, just make a fiefdom out of it and then annex it once they have integrated all that territory for you. But keep an eye on your loyalty for your vassals, because you do have a substantial amount of vassals already. So this is not a mechanic that I have to deal with much. So when you take over territory, when you conquer land, there's an integration mechanic. Let's see if integration is on here. It's not on here. That basically it references like how well you have actually like taken control of it. So EU5 integration. Integration status. So, when you've conquered a territory, it has 10% reduced max control and 50% increased separatism, which is bad, I would assume. Once it's integrated into your empire, it only has 10% separatism and gets a bonus of 5% to its max control. And once it's cored, you can you get rid of the separatism completely. But in order for it to core, it has to have like accepted cultures. So basically, when you first conquer territory, that territory is broadly useless to you, and is going to be... It just has a bunch of negative malices to it. Yeah. So I would pass that to a vassal. Like, I would just pass that to a fiefdom or a vassal, depending... Like, if it's that Eastern Bloc, I would pass that to a fiefdom and just let them handle it. Because otherwise you're going to have to deal with separatism. And I think that by making them a fiefdom, you basically just completely bypass all of the separatism that you would be dealing with. Because the fiefdom is a local government. Even though it does have a foreign ruler. At least you do in the capital province itself. But yeah, and so the first province that you want to release is probably whichever province is gonna be like the most central to the area, so that it's easier for them to control the whole area. Oh, okay. Hanthawadi wants to declare war on us again. I should have probably started improving their relations with me, huh? Is Hanthawadi going to attack me again? I don't have enough galleys built. I need to build some heavy. We are going all out on navies. We are building a heavy. And we are building another galley over here. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm gonna get fucking attacked by Hanthawadi again. We do have a sizable amount of elephants. And when they first invade over here, they're not going to have any morale to speak of. That's interesting. Oh boy. Wihale has... Okay. Brunei has broken... Oh god. Why? No. This is unacceptable behavior. Shit. Okay. Oh boy. Ooh boy. Yeah, you basically make them a fiefdom and then cede the provinces that aren't integrated to them in that area. How is your navy doing? I think you had 30 galleys last time. You still have 30 galleys. You have 8 heavies now? Fuck me. You have 8 heavies. That's not good. That's the opposite of good, in fact. Oh boy. All right, we need to raise our levies, and we need to raise them everywhere. We're not dicking around this time. Okay, we don't need to raise them over here. We don't need to raise them on these random islands over here. Okay. So we are raising a fuck ton of troops. We do not have the military tactics thing. We are taking that now. Is it even in this? We'll take army morale. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is not necessarily the correct order of operations, but it's fine. We are canceling this. Yeah, we're canceling exploration ideas. We cannot afford to invest in that right now. Hopefully we keep that investment later. We're going to head over to Malacca. Okay, luckily the AI is still very bad at prosecuting wars. So, this could go very badly for me. What is your weight limit? What is your weight? Okay, we can technically pick these up, but we need to build our levies. Temasek. So North Andaman is currently being blockaded. I'm not going to be able to get there to block that off, unfortunately. Okay. Okay. Oh boy. So, who do we put in charge of this army? Preferably somebody with decent everything. Let's go with you. Okay, our ships are now dropping people off in Temasek. The AI is going to underestimate how powerful this army is. I would just integrate your vassals. Your vassals are all really close to you, so once you can integrate them, I would just integrate them into yourself, and basically continue to expand outward, and that way you're keeping your relative power to your vassals high. It really sucks that the causeway is on the opposite side as the port. Not optimal for me. Well, you know, I'm happy that at the very least the game isn't making a liar out of me with regards to the title of the stream. That's a long time. Why 120 years? That seems like a long... Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so... I would only do one at a time, because... It takes... technically less time overall to do them both at the same time if you have positive modifiers to your annexation speed. If you have negative modifiers, I don't know. But I think if you have negative modifiers, it takes more time instead of less. But it takes more time for each individually, right? So basically, you're reducing the modifier for your annexation speed by 50%. But when I'm trying to annex somebody, I have it like a 150% annexation speed right now. I don't know what the 50% was from. I think it's from decentralization, from something. I don't know. But for whatever reason, I have 150%, which means that by spending my time on two at the same time, I would be annexing both of them at 100% speed instead of 150%. So each of them will take longer to do, but the combined total between the two is moving at 200% speed instead of 150% speed, basically. So it's like generally it's best to just annex one at a time, probably. But that's just something to bear in mind. That sucks that Brunei didn't join. And after they specifically allied me, they went through all the effort of making an ally with me, and now they're gonna throw that away. Which, you know, fair. You know. Yeah, this is South Andaman. So the rest of this stream is going to be this war with Hantawadi. I think. I don't think we're getting out of this war anytime soon. We're probably going to need to set somebody to reducing war exhaustion eventually, but. Not yet. I have enough money that I think I can just... I think I can just recruit more Elephant Cav. The Elephant Cav do an enormous amount of damage. So, my goal right now is to have enough Elephant Cav in play to protect the levies from taking too many casualties, because the problem I'm going to run into is getting surrounded and stack wiped by the auto stack wipe mechanic. I'm not losing battles. I'm only going to be losing to the stack wipes. Ooh. Let's fucking go. You know, usually when I start a war... usually when somebody starts a war with me, my life gets really hard because I also get some huge negative penalty to my thinger, but it looks like this time the game's like, hey, we could help out your war economy. Alright, let's build some ships. Do we want to build another Carrack? They have 8 Carracks? Do you have like a bonus in any particular terrain? I don't know if they do. Okay, we're just going to build a Carrack here, and you know what? We're going to build a Carrack here. Which, those might get cancelled if I end up losing. Oh, you've been proclaimed diplomatic hegemon again. Imagine that. Did you lose that because you lost a war against me? Is that what happened? Okay, wait. Why? This is some bullshit. The game is so confusing with regards to the way that it handles these naval engagements sometimes. Okay, we have 46 ships here. We should... Is this their galleys? If this is their galley fleet... We have Tondo's Navy helping us out? That's actually clutch. Do we have any... No, they have a bunch of heavies in this. Ooh, that's concerning. They don't have a leader? Oh, we might actually be able to take out some of their heavies. They don't have a leader in charge of this fleet. And we have a massive morale advantage over them, actually. So, yeah, we sit on this. We do not give up this fight. Okay, we win the fight. They unfortunately lose no ships. That's really unfortunate. I would have loved for them to lose some ships there. Where the fuck are you coming from? How are our ships doing? Wait, all of our ships are like fully healthy. That's amazing. Okay. So, this fleet is fleeing to somewhere. I am tempted to chase them down. What do you have in this fleet? This is just one heavy and 27 transports. I think we detach the damaged ship. Just plop you down here. Okay. Just wait for a tick on this. Okay. I will click this button. I will unclick this button. God damn, that's a lot of wasted money. Let's see. Okay, we will do this, and then I will realize that I still have a lot of money for building Carracks with. Do we build some more Carracks? I think we built some more Carracks. I think we built some Carracks, yeah. Alright, so... this fleet is going to go... no, it's not. I'm not going to go bring those over. Maybe I should. No, I probably should. You know what I should do is... okay, on the plus side, I think we're actually going to have a huge naval advantage. Not right now. I think right now they technically have the naval advantage over us. But I think once we build these Carracks, I think we have the advantage. The Tondo Navy... I don't know why the Navy that they have has such garbage morale. So are you just coming to me? This fleet is attacking into us. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I'm maybe not the right person to ask about how to get prestige. Having rivals is required, so making sure that all your rival slots are filled. You'll get higher prestige over time from technologies, and mostly you're going to be getting prestige from events that boost your prestige, and then you'll have... so basically, prestige decays based off of how much of it you have. So the more boosts that you have to it... so I'm apparently investing in culture gives you a prestige bonus, which I forgot about. But so once you have the ability to invest into culture, which is in the Renaissance somewhere. It's one of the texts in the Renaissance. It has an artist on it. It's the thing that gives you an artist also gives you the ability to invest in culture. So that'll give you increasing your investment in culture will increase it by 0.1, and then you'll have other modifiers that might give you a bonus. That's so the reason that you have such a huge prestige decay is probably because you've been winning a bunch of wars. So the answer to how you get more prestige is by continuing to prosecute wars and winning. If your decay is that large, it means that the modifiers that you're getting month to month are an inconsequential component of the amount of income that you're getting from other sources, right? So like you're getting your prestige from events and from conquests and from other things that you're doing. That's like, okay, I click this button, I gain 5 prestige, not 5 prestige per month. I just gained 5 prestige. So that's where the bulk of your prestige is coming from. So because the amount that it decays by increases the higher your current prestige value is. So you see I only have minus 0.05. I don't have anything that's giving me that other than the fact that my prestige is garbage. Right? So you like lose 1% of your prestige per month or something like that based off of what I'm seeing there. So they are the attacker. They have 1 transport in combat. And they are getting... This is just transports that are just going to get into combat and then immediately get wiped out. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, you love to see this. Unfortunately, those ships weren't actually full. Oh, wow, they actually had a Carrack in this. Okay. Well, okay. Sure, buddy. So where are they going? Live in Tombalan Archipelago. Oh, this is a different fleet that I cannot chase down. I don't know where they went. Wow, it's really handy having a naval advantage. Goddamn. Now, at some point, they're going to make my life miserable by doing something. But for now, everything's relatively chill. I can't see Johor Lama. I assume they have an army just sitting there, or that they will at some point in the near future. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Let's see. Yeah, you get, I think, 0.1 prestige from... Actually, is that meritocracy? I think in the first age, there's a thing that you can get prestige out of, but I think it might be in meritocracy, which you won't have access to until later. No, I think it is in Renaissance. It's in Renaissance somewhere. Somewhere in the Renaissance, there's a thing that you can get 0.1 per month from, and that would cut the amount that you're losing by about a third. It's similar to estates. Like, the estates have a satisfaction equilibrium, and your prestige has a prestige equilibrium based off of how much of a boost you have. But events will move it one way or the other as well. We don't want to send all these people away for a full month. That's not how we roll. Okay, they have 1,300 troops that have just landed, and we are going to go take them out. I don't know where the other troops are. Do you... There's not enough space here for us to do what I want to do necessarily. I should probably build a fort in Temasek if I'm going to keep fighting here. The fact that I'm going blind every time because this is jungle is real rough, y'all. It's real rough. You know what? I need to make Pahang an ally. Actually, that's what I need. If I just wasn't at war, I could just offer an alliance to Pahang, and then I would never have to deal with this ever again. If I was allied with Pahang right now, my life would be so fucking easy. Because I'd have full vision of where their troops are down here. Right? So, okay, let's stop complaining and start. Okay, what is your weight limit? Alright, so I can bring everybody from here except for 1,000-ish troops. So we'll take this 1,500 troops. We will select this. This 1,500 we are actually bringing to Tanjung Pinang. We are not going to do the same bullshit that we've done in the past. Where is this? Oh, you actually landed troops all the way out here? That's so funny. No problem. I enjoy, I enjoy just talking about, the actual strategy of things and being able to offer advice and stuff like that. It's the thing that I most enjoy about streaming is having people ask questions and I just go, oh yeah, I know the answer to that actually. Here, allow me to help. We stack wiped them. Okay, that's great. Ooh, that's good. Okay, that's a good sign. Okay, so we stack wipe you, and then we immediately bring you back to Temasek. Can we not? So, our goal is to do this. To just pick up my army and drop it where it needs to be over and over and over again. Right? So, as long as I'm here, the strait is blocked. So, Singapore is kind of a weird situation, right? So, Temasek is in 2 sea zones. One sea zone contains the port, and the other sea zone contains this tiny little causeway that you can't, see. So basically, in order to prevent them from crossing, you have to control the eastern Singapore Strait. But the western Singapore Strait is the one that the actual port's on. But Tanjung Pinang's port is on the eastern Singapore Strait, which means that if I need to retreat away from enemy navies, I can actually just retreat to here instead of having to just retreat all the way over there. But excuse me. For now, we just move this army over here. Okay, another 2,000 troops show up. We love that for them. So, they have no morale because they've been starving through the jungle for the last 6 billion years. So we just pop over with 300 war elephants, and while they're trying to siege down this castle, we land a bajillion fucking troops, and we stack wipe them. And lose basically no soldiers in the process. We also stole their elephant? Wait, what? What just happened? What happened? Where did these come from? It said plus 21. What the fuck is what happened? Did we get an extra elephant cavalry? I don't know what happened. Okay, well, whatever. We're gonna just bring them back to Temasek. Whoever they are, whatever's going on with them, it's fine. I stream usually every weekday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Singapore time, which is GMT plus 8, I think. It does not change for daylight savings. So Generally speaking, 5 days a week. My stream's been disrupted a little bit by the fact that I've been sick. So I didn't stream 2 days of the last, week or so. Because I've just been sick. But I think I'm coming out the other end of it, so I imagine that things will start turning the other way soon. That's my hope. How are we doing on damage? We're doing fine on damage. Alright, I still want to sit here because I don't want, 60,000 troops or whatever. Like, if this entire army shows up with all of their regulars, that's dangerous for me. I don't want the regulars to show up with a huge advantage in terms of numbers. So Tondo has 13% war participation so far. It's not bad. So I was expecting this war to go very badly for me, but this actually might go fun. Oh my god, Tondo's gonna just blow this army up, huh? Okay. Do you not have, a navy that can move your troops? What's happening with you? My voice is so funny right now. I sound like a teenager. I sound like a teenager whose voice is cracking. Oh. Well, they have landed themselves on the thing again. But yeah, my hope is that I will be able to stream more regularly this week than I have been thus far. So we go probably wipe this army out. They do have proper morale this time, so they are going to fight back a lot more. We do lose a lot more troops. And they do retreat, which is unfortunate. They were not stack wiped. So that's too bad. I would much prefer to just stack wipe them when they show up, but no such luck. Alright, we can actually disembark the army, and then we can take a look. What is the weight on this army? The weight on this army is 3,700. We can carry 4,400. We can't quite do what I would like to do. What are Ryong cavalry? Where's Ryong? Did we somehow steal one of their regulars? How does that work? I don't understand. Excuse me. Okay. Do I grant you cabinet rights? Oh my god, yes I do. Of course I do. What the oh my god. Lady. Hello. How's it going? Holy shit. How do you feel about improving my Diplo rep, lady? Hey, wait. Wait, are you not in my... Why are you not showing up on my list? Oh my god. Okay. So, they have no morale at all. Which means I should be able to just pop over there. If I wait a month and then pop over, can I... We should split this army so that we can bring some, but not all of them. Okay. There's one guy! That is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so good. The first army of North Visayas is one dude on a horse. Oh man. My understanding is that they're going to be changing that next patch. They're going to have a population limit for when rebels show up in provinces with no population or something. That's great. I think that he can't even get food. This is just one guy who got kicked out of his house. Oh man. Oh, I needed that. Okay. Sure thing, buddy. Okay, I think that one of my fiefdoms will just deal with that. So, my people should have... Are they not recovering because they weren't disembarked? Oh my god, I needed to disembark them, I think. Okay. We're actually going to do this. We are going to look at the... thinger. We need to get rid of about 1,000. So we just take the... Do we have like an 800 or something? We have a 935. If we take this out, the weight is 4,300. And I think we just dive here. They don't have enough of a lead in terms of troop numbers to auto stack wipe us, so I think we just push them off the point. Yeah, they lose a lot of troops. We also lose a decent number of troops there, unfortunately. But it's okay. So they now are going to be hemorrhaging troops as they go about their business. I'll also see you later, Lix DK. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's see. Where are we going? We have Kataka, we have Encore. What am I doing? How much am I in Surabaya? What is my Surabaya market doing? I wonder if I could crash Majapahit's economy by just not importing any more gold to them. If I just moved all the gold that I'm importing into Majapahit, I wonder if I could just crash their economy. Yeah, I'm importing way too much gold here. We're just gonna drop this so that Selambao can export its gold elsewhere. So this is Surabaya, this is Selambao. Let's send some more to Kataka and to... Because having all that gold in their market, I think, is why they have so much trade income. So Surabaya, I need to find a nice niche market I can take advantage of. This is Selambao. Currently importing a bunch of gold from turn 8. What would be useful for me in some of my other markets? We actually are having our inflation situation get better over time, so we should probably keep expanding this RGO. Speaking of RGOs, we wanted to do the iron RGO as well, probably. Let's get this RGO built up a bit. We should be building... I guess we shouldn't be building more ships because very little time is actually passing. Alright, so we've just won a battle against their entire army. Their stability is currently negative, which is good for me. Their enthusiasm has a plus 41% from military from military balance. So we've only lost 600 troops apparently. This shows how many they've lost from battles. It doesn't show how much they've lost from Thinger. If we consistently keep winning battles, we might be able to get ticking war score. I don't know though. They didn't get ticking war score when they had tons of battles won the last time. Do I just import some food? No, I don't think I do. What can I export from Surabaya that I want? That would just be nice to have. They have apparently a huge surplus in pepper, but I don't think I can get in. I don't think I can muscle in on the pepper export market, considering that that's like the bulk of what's... I could possibly do rice. Like... Let's see if I can export rice. No, that's trades, not goods. There is a surplus, but I can't make a profit off of it. So, what else would we want to do here? You know, we could import books. We just import a few books from here for shits and giggles. What else do we have? Is there any reason to import coal? Probably not. There's a pretty huge demand for fruit, but apparently it's not something I can make a profit on. I could give them iron. I don't think that giving it a military resource like iron is necessarily a great plan. I don't want to import saffron to them. Tea maybe. I'd rather import tea to my area though. That's the problem. I could try exporting clay. No. Just want to do something that isn't moving moving gold around. If possible. They have 0 demand for elephants, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. That means that they don't have any elephants. This is not going to be worth anything. I don't think I can get more trade in books necessarily. We can import copper, just like a little bit of copper from Goa. Let's see. We're gonna lose a lot of money to not doing this gold. We can try importing from Ternate. Let's see if we can actually make that happen. My guess is probably not. Alright, so as long as we have a sufficient number of troops here, we should be able to avoid having too many difficulties. Oh, they have split their army in half. Wait a second. Can we... We cannot? No. Shit. But that's actually okay, because we know that they don't actually have an army to take advantage of this. So, we get these 500 removed. The rest of the army... we're slightly heavy. Just a tiny bit. We get rid of the tribesmen. Okay. We pop in the boats. And we pop onto Malacca. And they're going to attack into me, it looks like. I guess I should have waited for them to arrive. Okay. Wait, oh no. Oh shit. I needed to give myself a little bit more leeway than that. Shit. I think that they're gonna have to retreat for at least a little while. Hopefully. I need to basically be able to get this army disembarked. Okay. Okay. So, we've moved the army. They have 0 morale. They're going to try to take that. We are going to remove a straight 1,000 troops so that we have room to pick our troops back up later. And then they're going to do something. They're going to move to 2 different areas, it looks like. Are you in Malacca now? No. You'll arrive the 23rd. I'm actually going to go after these people in Klang because they have some morale, but not much. And since they have a little bit of morale, I'm able to punch into them and actually deal damage. Because the way the game handles this shit is weird. And so the fact that they've started moving means that they're not going to take any damage when I hit them. Because they actually have no morale. This is very dumb. I really missed the pursuit phase in fucking Crusader Kings, because this is some bullshit. Okay. So, we have pushed their army off of here. And then this army is going to just pop back over to Tomasek. So, I believe they're now down to like 16,000 troops just in total. I don't think they have any troops left in reserve. This is basically just the army that they have at their disposal. Let's see. Cost of court buildings, diplo spending, investing in culture, cost of colonies. Yeah, my expenses right now are pretty high, unfortunately. And I don't really know why. I don't know what has happened to make my expenses quite this high, but that's fine. Can I appoint my daughter? I gave you council access. Why can't I? Where's my daughter? Wait, where is she? Did I just spend a bunch of money on legitimacy that I don't get to use at all? Where'd this woman go? Wait a second. Where's my sister? Which one is it? It's not a sister, it's a cousin or something, right? It's gotta be. Where the fuck are you? You. Where are you? Is it you? Yes. Where are you? Why can't I put her in my cabinet? Oh, she's a member of the Cassatria, interestingly enough. Oh, well, I can't put her in the cabinet because she's Cassatria. She's not one of my actual relatives for some reason. I guess your cousins, because they're too far out from the main line, are no longer considered part of like the actual primary like dynasty. That actually makes sense. As a faction, your distant relatives have more in common with the Cassatria than they do with you. They're not like politically aligned to you. So, we are currently at negative 0.92 war score. We might be able to get ticking war score if they keep punching at us. If they keep coming at us, considering that we've won 10 battles and have not, I think, lost any battles, at some point the ticking war score should start working in our favor. And once the war score starts working in our favor, we can do some stuff. The other thing is that I have enough troops that I can potentially... This is all a contiguous landmass. I might actually take some territory off of them. They are declaring war on me. There's no reason why I shouldn't just take their shit. You know what I mean? I'm not that kind of pacifist. Okay, Hantawadi has lost this fight. They lose another gigantic fuck ton of troops. And we move back to Temasek. Okay. I don't have very good military tech yet. So once I get this, that'll improve my army morale. Which will be nice. But the thing that's going to be a real big difference is the military tactics. Getting the tactics boosts is going to be fucking crazy for me. And yeah, Tondo did just kick them out of their territory, so I think... do I wait a month? I think I wait a month. Yeah, we wait a month. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Oh, these are prisoners. So wait, we actually did, like, kidnap their soldiers and have pressed their soldiers into service? Is that what's happening here? Okay. Okay. They now have a little bit of morale, which we can take advantage of to do some damage to them. And we do a pretty considerable amount of damage, but they do a pretty considerable amount of damage in return, which I'm not a huge fan of. We need to... What is this? If this is just transports, then I probably don't need to get into the war, the fight immediately. We just move you to Temasek. But yeah, unfortunately we are losing troops here. 4,800 is not bad. Okay, they have fled into there. They now have 6,000 troops left. They have a tiny bit of morale. We need to get about 1,000. We'll take the 800 out. Okay, Hantawadi has lost another Little battle. They gained a tiny bit of war exhaustion. And it looks like we only lost Cav, which you would think would be bad. Because, like, I don't want to lose my regulars, you'd think, but you'd actually be wrong. The regulars will recover with manpower. The levies, I don't think, really recover. The levies, I think, are just going to be gone for the remainder of the war, basically. So, I would much prefer to lose the others. Alright, so they have 6,000 troops. And slowly but surely, we whittle our way through their army. That's actually more than slowly. It is definitely surely. Okay, so... Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful gameplay. Now, you might be wondering, what is my end goal here? And the answer is, I would like... to okay, let's get rid of you. I want to have as much power brought to each battle as possible. Look at that fucking damage. Oh, man. Okay. If we can get ticking war score on our side, that's beneficial. But what I actually want in this war is I want to win this war more decisively. We need to, like... We need to punish this. So, right, the last war, we didn't have a means by which we could get to a positive war score. So, because we didn't have a means to get to a positive war score, did this just get re-embarked? What happened? Every time I click disembark, they then re-embark automatically for some reason. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Because we need to bring them over here anyway. Alright. We brought the numbers closer to even. Levies lost to attrition. What attrition? There's no attrition here. Okay. So, we do now have a positive war score. Their occupations are no longer giving them a net positive there. They do have a bunch of regulars. Right, I'm not just fighting levies here, but I have better regulars than them, so they can suck it. And this is what this war could have been like the previous time if I had prepped myself to actually prosecute a war. If I had realized that there was like an enemy at the gates that was this much of a near peer, There's a bunch of stuff I could have done. Why do you keep getting back in the boats? Like, I don't hate it, I guess. They're heading to here. Can we blow you up? We do not succeed in blowing you up, unfortunately. However, we now have the numerical advantage. In fact... Oh, jeez. Look at that. Oh, baby. That is a lot of money. I do love them naval benefits. Okay, we're just going to pop right over here. We should be able to stack wipe this. And they can't escape because we move faster because we're on boats. They did, in fact, not get stack wiped. Okay, so, with that being the case, we are just going to... I think we wait here for a month. We wait here for the month tick. Wait. What do you mean it's... What has happened? I have broken the game. What the fuck is happening? I have locked my army up in a weird way. Can I stop you? Oh, okay. Wait, but why would I hire them as mercs? I guess I'll hire the prisoners as mercs. Wait, where are you going? I have no idea what's happening right now. The game is very confused. They seem to be, like, fleeing to Malacca for some reason. I am very concerned about this. Let's get you into the boats. Yeah, they are weirdly fleeing for some reason. I don't know what's happening with that. I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, okay. Where the fuck are you going? I don't have military access there. The game is very confused about what's happening with these troops. Are they gonna retreat to a place that I don't have access to? They seem to be retreating to a place that I don't have military access. What on earth is happening? Are they going all the way to Temasek? Looks like they're going all the way to Temasek for some reason. Okay, we're just gonna pull back to Temasek, I guess. Okay. Okay. Please tell me that you actually were... I think the game is literally losing track of whether the army has disembarked or not. I think that's what's happening there. Alright. So, at the moment, They have negative stability. They have 8 heavies still. They do have a fleet that's very dangerous to me, potentially. So we do have to wait until we've finished our heavies before we can send our troops over there. But with that being said, this is a war that should go our way. That's what I need. Excuse me. So, we can use our boats to bring food to people, I think. So I think that if we go to siege this down, we should be able... Oh, we can embrace an institution. Let's go. We have embraced the new world that we haven't seen. Okay. Let's start improving people's opinions of us. Okay. Once we've built these ships, I can't believe we fought 21 battles and we still haven't gotten ticking war score in our favor. Can we see our progress toward the war goal? Okay. So why is our building expenses so high? Why is our cost of court so high, actually? Our cost of court is so high because I tanked my legitimacy trying to hire someone that I couldn't hire anyway. Alright, how many troops do you have left? You now have 9,000 troops. Do I feel like... Do I feel like I can make a landing? Purchasing military access would cost quite a lot. How about purchasing military access with you? It's much cheaper. But I could get military access into Ayutthaya. If I got military access with them, then I could send troops here. Am I... Am I in the market for more territory over here? I think I'm gonna need to start accumulating war score at some point. I'm gonna see if they keep sending troops over. If they keep sending troops over, then that's good for me. I'm wondering if I should just send my ships over to go. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna find out what happens. Because we have our army here, and our army is now unassailable. They don't have anything that they can bring against that army. So, my navy is potentially going to be in danger. Navigating their coasts over here. But I'm actually very curious to see if I could just get a quick pickup. Like, quickly pick off some of their troops. Some of their ships. Seemingly no. Their ships are like completely MIA. So, and their soldiers are also completely MIA. I feel like, oh, that's not great. Is this 12 heavies? What is this? Is this, did I find your heavies? I did find your heavies. So, $85, $75, $89, $75, $79. All of their carracks are taking damage. But I think we're gonna get the worst for this. I don't think that this is actually gonna end up. Are these? We're gonna be building a bunch of galleys. Or sorry, we're gonna be building a bunch of heavies very shortly. I don't think there's any reason for me to continue to engage. I should not have sent that army. I just realized that means that I'm going to have a slightly harder time with getting supremacy. But I don't think I'm going to get it anyway. Oh. Wait. Okay. That's actually clutch. Do I have any ships somewhere? I don't have a single ship nearby. If I had my navy nearby, I could have done something with this. Okay, we are going to move our navy to here. No, we're not. I think we're going to move our navy into the thing here. I want to see. We need to repair our navy anyway. Oh shit, we're losing money? Why? Those building expenses are so high now. I wonder how the building expenses got so high. Let's see. How's our lumber situation? It is worth quite a lot. You know what? I'll expand some of these lumber things. I shouldn't have bothered. That's fine. We now have a supply of 400. to play with. Two heavies and a bunch of transports. Alright, I think this is the correct choice. Okay, they fled into Johor Lama. They came out of Johor Lama with troops! And I don't think we're going to wipe them here, unfortunately. Because they've got heavies and shit. You know what's funny? It's probably more sensible to view this from here. Because if I just have this scroll down to the bottom, I can see which ships are the most damaged. Oh, that's really too bad that we weren't able to get that army caught. If we had caught that army there, then we could probably deposit our troops wherever we want. Let's see. I don't like the fact that we're currently sitting at negative value right now. Like, the cost of court is a sizable expense, but it's not that crazy. Okay. We probably can't pick that army up without bringing everybody together. We can pick it up with the fleet, though. So the fleet can currently pick up my entire army. Okay, this army is probably going to get stack wiped. Captured units. Okay. So we captured you. I'm not bribing. So these are mercenaries. These are not... Sorry, not mercenaries. These are Thingamabobber. This is their Thinger unit. I've now taken out their regulars, I believe. So, Hantawadi now has only levies. So, they only have levies left. I don't know where their levies are, unfortunately. And the issue that we run into now I don't want to just import gold from Stellenbow. That maybe I should. Or from Stellenbow. Let's see. I am curious. I stopped importing a shit ton of gold into Surabaya, and it hasn't impacted their trade value. So, with that being the case, I can probably just import and not worry about it. Okay. So we need to do monthly development of Riao. And it does look like... Why do they keep re-embarking? Oh shit, we have reached the end of time. So, I think that's going to be it for today. Next time, we are going to be finishing this war. And I need to figure out what I want out of this war. That's like an important characteristic of what needs to happen here, is I need to figure out what do I want. And I'm actually thinking... Ligor, what are you? Are you... You're a tributary of Lunkasuka. Lunkasuka is a tributary of Pahang. So... if I got an alliance with Pahang, that would actually be really valuable for me. I think that we... How big is the Khmer Empire's armies? What am I thinking about? Armies. They have 450 cavalry regulars. They have a potential of 30,000 levies. I think... we try to take some territory here. I don't know where we want to take territory, but I think that we try to take some territory here. We take some territory and make a fiefdom out of something up here. That does encourage other nations to attack. So this is the funny thing, is that we're kind of like encouraging future aggression if we do that from a lot of different places, a lot of really big countries that we ostensibly are much weaker than. We're apparently weaker than Hantawadi but much weaker than Khmer. But if I could improve my relations with Khmer, let's just start doing that now, before we forget. We can improve their opinion by 118. My goal, so I think my goal for next time is to maybe take like one province off of them up here. This is a province that has a fort. which is potentially bad for me, honestly. It's potentially bad for me to hold territory up here. Um, I'd have to think about it. You know, it would be really funny is for them to have to transfer the Duchy of Nanchang to us, which I think that would be kind of funny. We could actually see if we could get one of these duchies off of them instead. But I think that is asking for even more trouble. We'll have to see what I decide to do. I might just go for taking all of their money. Like let's see if we peace out right now. No, we're gonna decide what our war goal is next time. We are over time. Next time we will decide what our actual war goal is. We'll try to see what like we can piece out from them. What I might go for is a 35% war score victory of all their money and all of their reparations. So we take war reparations from them, which is money, and we take as much money as we can take during a victory. We cap both of those out and just do that. I think that's probably my best bet, if we're being honest. I have a decent amount of money, and that's all great, but I would like to have an extra 3,000 gold up front that I could just immediately invest into additional colonial charters, into all of the RGOs that I need. I need to get my economic base up. I need a bunch of stuff. So probably we'll be doing that, but we'll see. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you again tomorrow when hopefully I'll be feeling even better. I was coughing less today than I was yesterday. Later, folks.